How's my voice, by the way? Everything good? Quality and everything?
Yeah, that's coming through great. A warm
Awesome.
welcome to the Wellcoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us DX. It's formerly known as DxSale. It's a household name in crypto. You'll be well aware of. So yeah, let's start around the backstory, the core team, how they got together, setting up DxSale, and the journey so far. That'd be great, Hash.
Yeah, sure. Just a little bit about me. I started in the banking sector, in a technology area. I was a PM, and one of my roles was to research blockchain technology at that time. This is back in early 2015. So my goal was to research blockchain tech, how it can benefit the banks, what use cases can we create using blockchain technology. From there, learned a lot about Bitcoin, ended up finding myself at CoinMarketCap, and that rabbit hole just goes to all of the other coins, and it sparked a lot of curiosity. So I've been in the space for a while. In 2017, I was one of the big ICO bull runs that we had, been participating in that as well, made a lot of friends along the way. And in 2020, a similar thing were happening, but this time it was IDOs. People were launching on Uniswap. After a lot of rug pulls, my friends and I, we kind of got together and we decided to build a platform that would allow anyone to create a pre-sale, but with the guarantee that it's not going to rug, meaning that the pre-sale will somehow automatically provide the liquidity and lock the liquidity so that people are able to trade the pre-sale, the IDO. And that led us to a lot of success for DxSale when we launched back in August 2020. Um, but yeah, we were actually expecting to get like one or two pre-sales a month. We ended up getting like over 1,000. Right now, our total is like in the 10Ks, and we support over 16 chains. And we've been a market leader, and we created a new segment called the Decentralized Launchpad. But we're a bit low key. We don't really do a lot of marketing or push a lot of channels. But with the V4 launch that we just did, we decided to come back and chat a little about the rebranding, chat a little about the Excel, chat about the future of the sale token as well.
Thanks very much, Hash. Yeah, so maybe we can go into some of the products that's offered and what you're planning over the year for your DX. You've got the DX bin, the anti-dump DAO. I was looking at the white paper. Can we go into some details there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the current live products that we have are mostly DeFi products. They're not really for beginners. It's a way for people to create their own cryptocurrency, DX Mint. DX Drop is a way to airdrop your tokens to like 500 addresses if you need. DX Sale is a way to create different type of pre-sales without any coding required. This can be like a fair launch, a standard launch, and subscription-based slash overflow type of launch. We have a lot of different tools that we provide for entrepreneurs in the cryptocurrency space and for early people who want to invest in these type of ideas as well. So that's been our focus, is how can we enable a lot of people to create more tokens so that they can focus more on their product rather than actually the hassle and all of the effort that's required to kind of prepare yourself for this kind of crowd sale environment. I think in the future, though, as we grow, as our brand kind of builds up, we're looking at different areas in the market that needs solutioning, and one of them is NFTs. A lot of NFTs don't have utilities, and we're looking to build a interoperable NFT injectable game, which will allow any NFT community or NFT artist or NFT game to take the NFTs and just plug it into our game and interact with other NFTs and have a good experience. So that's something we're building. It is bleeding edge. Nothing in the crypto space has been built like that. We're also looking into building new DeFi tools One of them is like a swap that provides a little bit more aggregation for cross chain capabilities, and we're also looking into bringing back our staking system and then providing more utility for the people who hold sale token. So, for the past year, like I mentioned, we didn't expect so much volume for from the cryptocurrency community around our product, our platform. So we had to re-architect our whole website, and that took us a lot of time. But with V4, we're definitely back. We can definitely scale our products now and build new things. So very excited about the future of DxSale, and hopefully the bull run is just getting started.
Awesome, Hash. And yeah, maybe we can go into that. The NFT gaming, is that going to be like where a project would be able to mint them on your platform in the future?
Maybe in down the road they can mint stuff. But at the moment we're trying to help enable existing NFT products already. We realize that there's a big gap in the market where there's not a lot of utility for these NFTs, whether that the project has stopped or people are building their own products. But I think there's a lack of uh, think about it like Reddit avatars, right? Reddit avatars are NFTs, but they call them avatars. But the avatars are only limited to what Reddit publishers. So just imagine a game where there isn't one publisher, it's multiple publisher that can be outside of the game, but they can inject themselves into the game and have a good experience and increase their branding and promote their NFTs into the game. That's kind of the generic idea, and then from there we'll see, how do we build on top of it? How do we collaborate with other people? But it's a long-term strategy for us in the NFT space. So we're trying to build a lot of contacts. We don't know anyone in the NFT space. We know people in the DeFi space. So we're trying to make that big leap as well. I recently doxed myself for that reason as well. Going to a lot of conferences, trying to meet a lot of enthusiasts who have been in the NFT space longer than I have, and try to understand what are the big problems here and how can we as a software company solve those problems. And we're self-funded, so we're very careful with how we utilize our funds, and that starts with first understanding what the users want. So that's been our goal for this year and probably the next year as well.
Awesome, Hash. Yeah, I mean, NFTs are going to be huge for the future and metaverses, and so it's great to get involved with that. And I was looking at your anti-dump DAO. That was quite interesting. Can we go into some details there? Is it going to trying to help the investors, so there's more trust in each pre-sale going forward?
Yeah, the DxDAO, what it currently does is, a lot of developers, they were mentioning how other launchpad they tend to dump the tokens right away and kill off any kind of excitement and create a lot of self pressure. And so we build our DAO, which is very unique. Is it limits how much the DAO. So the DAO basically receives all the tokens, and the DAO has an upper limit of 1% or 2% per day of how much it can sell. And what this does is it creates a very minimum selling pressure, and it allows the entrepreneur to actually do a crowdfund through DxSale utilizing their tokens only. And that's kind of the space that we kind of believe in, is we don't want to dump any tokens. We believe in a project that that launches with us, and we're trying to give an opportunity for everyone who has long-term goals and futures for cryptocurrency. That's always been our goal. Is we as entrepreneurs ourselves had a hard time getting funds from VCs and other successful people. So, crowdfunding is a good tool to just express your ideas and see if you can build something very useful to help crypto grow. So DxDAO does that. We don't really get any revenue directly into our wallet. We don't have one central party who is dumping tokens or selling tokens off at the moment we get tokens. And a lot of people don't know that. So that's something we need to do on our front to better educate a lot of the community members in the DeFi and the pre-sale IDO space as well.
I see, Hash. And how do you protect the community and investors? What's the security around DX, KYCs, the doxing? Is it outsourced or is it in-house?
Yeah, most we started with this concept of outsourcing it as well. Being the first in the market, we have to do a lot of things that nobody has ever done, and because of that, our V 1.0, we introduced KYC partners and audit partners, and we asked third-party people to just become whitelisted on our platform and provide the services to anyone who might need them. And that's been the way since up to V4. And we added a lot of different features such as emergency withdrawal. We were the first to do it. Uh, to give the opportunity for the investors to back out if they did contribute, and we also provide a lot of like secure scoring systems as well. So of course the automatic liquidity is always there, but the challenging part with all decentralized platforms is there's always scams. There always will be scams, and the investors, they're a lot smarter now, I would say, than they were 2 years ago, and they do more of their due diligence. So it's very tricky. But the scammer, they're also very smart as well. They're also degens, so they have a way of trying to trick um, the investors as well. So it's a very tricky space to be in when you're running a decentralized platform such as DxSale.
I see, Hash. And I looked at the UI and the UX, which is user interface design and user experience design. You've been upgrading that as you go along with DX as well.
Yeah. So the 4.0 was a lot of under the hood upgrades, the architectural upgrades to just like have the ability to add more networks really quickly. Right now we have 16, but we want to increase that amount as much as we can. We also know our UI wasn't super great, so we're trying to work on that as well as we go along. But 4.0 is a very big stepping stone because it has 2 years of technical depth of development that we just couldn't do as we were iterating from 1.0 all the way to 3.4 because we had to meet the needs of a lot of our users. So 4.0 gave us the ability, this bear market gave us the ability to really build everything out from the ground up uh, to be able to then take advantage of the bull run and just really build, in iterations. And this starts with the UI. UI is a stepping stone, but there's going to be more UI upgrades. There's going to be more new features coming up with 4.1, 4.2, and all of that stuff. So we are very excited. The development team is very excited. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, look really great. So yeah, I want to bring that up. And how does it work for projects? What's the options for payment? Is it in stable coins, percentage of token? And is there different sort of packages that can take? Do you have like tiers to your pre-sales as well?
Yeah. There's multiple options. You can pay in native token, whether that's BNB or Arbitrum or whatever chain you select, or you can pay in tokens and in native tokens. We're also considering adding just native, just project tokens as well, for those who might be interested in. But that might come in a later feature as well.
Okay, and you've got your sale token as well. What sort of utilities attached to that and benefits for investors holding the token? Do they get maybe like whitelist spots as well on the platform?
Yeah, so the DxSale token started off as a buy and burn. We wanted to kind of replicate Binance, and try to do a quarterly buy and burn. The problem became evident because we had very small number of holders and there was a lot of arbitrage that was happening. But we still burned over like 5 million uh, worth of dollars in sale tokens and burnt them. So our circulating supply is like 50% right now because a lot of it has been burned. And that did shoot up the price from like I think 1 cent all the way to $3 or 2.50. But now we're rethinking about how do we want to approach sale token and providing utility. So one of them starts with the staking system. After that, the staking system will provide a lot of utility, not across one application, but multiple applications that we will be building, across time. So the staking system will have different tiers as well. So looking forward to actually publishing um, that Medium article that will explain that, and then from there we're going to start also speaking to a lot of exchanges, see how we can collaborate and how we can actually put a lot of eyes on the token and through the token on our product as well. And we do have a brand in the cryptocurrency DeFi space. We just need to make that leap into the NFT space and the broader market as well.
Okay, great, Hash. And do you have like scouts that go out, looking for great projects to come to your platform? How do you sort of, market and promote in that area?
Yeah, that's something we've been always, for the past 2 years, we didn't want to do any of that kind of reaching out and trying to uh, put all people into the platform. But because of competition, I think we have no choice but to do that, and we're trying to set up a team now to that would be doing a lot of that stuff. So that's our strategy. Core strategy is to actually collaborate with a lot of platforms that can promote our platform as a decentralized launchpad and provide that as an option to any users that are looking at it. So that's something that we're also going to be doing a lot in 2023.
Awesome, Hash. And have you been building a lot of partnerships up around crypto over the last few years? You've been around for a long time.
Yeah. We have a lot of our partnership initially started with the chains. We had Polygon, we had Silica, we had Avalanche as well. So a lot of our connections is through the networks. We wanted to provide a lot of utility to these EVMs by creating a lot of these tools that promote other people to try and create these tools, onto the EVMs. In the upcoming future, we're looking at a lot of NFT projects and trying to collaborate with them, partner with them, see how we can provide a lot of utility through our game to their NFT projects as well. We're also trying to collaborate with a lot of the swap platforms to see how we can add a little bit of farming for sale token as well into our lineup and find a way to integrate their services onto our platform and vice versa. So that's something that we're going to be doing as well. I'm also looking for a business administrator as well to join the team to help speed along these type of partnerships and conversations as well.
Sounds great, Hash. And how does it work for projects? What sort of pre-sales do you do? Like fair launch? Do you do subscription based? What sort of options are there? And do you sort of advise them as well to what would be best for their project?
Yeah, so currently we do provide all of that, the standard, the fair launch, the subscription, which we are calling it overflow, but it's the same idea. And we do have like a way for projects to just ask a lot of questions on our chat, and we do provide a lot of guidance and advising as well. There were many projects that were just trying to create a pre-sale but didn't have a community, so we actually stopped them from wasting their money and trying to try to raise a pre-sale with no community as well. There's a lot of things that we do in the back end to try and connect people with the right people. We have a lot of contacts in the space as well, to try and get them an AMA, for example, on Whalecoin Talk or any other places based on their budget. So that's something that's always available to anyone who launches on DxSale, really, or any other platform. More than happy to help anyone who is looking to start, you know, trying to build a project that's going to help this space out. I think there needs to be a lot more quality projects out there. So anyone that's building quality projects and looking for help, reach out. I'm more than happy to help.
I see, Hash, and you've got the DX Mint. You can build your own pre-audited cryptocurrency with a click of a button. So do you have like sort of tutorials if there's a new developer that hasn't sort of got them skills to build a smart contract and sort of guide them through it?
Yeah, and it's very simple, easy to use. And I think another big thing is it just allows the investors to understand that these are verified contracts. They don't have anything, like no scams involved with any of these kind of tokens that are built through the DX Mint. And we do provide four different types. One is the standard one, the other one is a burn one, the other one is a fee, and the last one is the dividend one, where you can determine what will the liquidity fee be and the reflection fee will be, and all of that stuff. So check it out, dx.app/dxmint. It is 1 month free to use. You can create a pre-sale, create a minting token, 1 month free, dx.app.
Awesome, Ash. And do you have like tutorials for new investors, as we sort of grow in the space and we go mainstream, tutorials around participating in a pre-sale, how to get involved?
Yeah, we're actually doing a video competition for people to, show their version of a tutorial. So if you head over to like twitter.com/DxSale, we have a video competition running right now, and we're going to be building our own tutorial as well of how to you know, um, use any of the launches that we have. Right now, we're doing the overflow competition, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So head over to DxSale, twitter.com/DxSale, and you'll be able to see that.
Awesome, Ash. And what's the products you're building this year then? How are you sort of rebranding it? How are you changing, mixing it up, and how are you going to compete with the competition out there?
Yeah, our plan is a very simple one. What we want to do is listen to a lot of the users. We now have a good funnel. We have a good development team that are actually always listening about what the community needs, and we add in that feature into our backlog immediately and start working on it. But aside from that, we're also thinking about innovation, and I think that's what sets us apart from any of our competitors, given that we were the first decentralized launchpad, and we did create a segment of its own. We do plan to do a DX farm and DX swap in the DeFi space as well. So that's something that's going to set us apart, because we don't like doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. We see a lot of problems in a very different way, and we like to solve the problems in a very simple way. And and creating simple solutions is very difficult at times, because not a lot of people are thinking it in a very simple way. And I think DX Mint, for example, is a good way of showcasing that. We now have a history of all of the minted tokens that you do, and you can create them, and then you can even manage them. So if you click on manage, you then have all of these settings available to you that you can change and address, and that's very powerful for a user that wants convenience. So that's something that we're really trying to focus on, is the user experience. For example, if you go to DxDrop and you pick a custom token, we provide all of the different tokens that you've already minted. So the way our platform works is they're always communicating with each other. It's not like one is completely independent of the other. And I think that's what's missing in the whole DeFi space, is a way for applications to speak to one another and provide benefits to one another, and a better user experience to one another. So I'm just going through randomly through the site just to give an idea of how simple and easy it is to really use our platform.
Awesome, I can see that there, yeah. And I mean, you were the #1 platform for a long time, and then we hit a bear market, and it's been a struggle for some launch pads. So yeah, you've been, getting this core team together, have you, banging heads together, thinking of ideas for the future, and getting back to that top spot in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we had a very hard road in the past year, mainly because we didn't want to act upon like our competitors because of a lot of legal things that we were worried about. There were a lot of internal issues. We've always been very ethical in our business practices, as I would say. So we're trying to create a standard. We're trying to, not trying to create a standard overall for this decentralized launchpad space. We're going to be here for the next 10 years. And we're trying to do things the right way by building the right teams, getting the right people onboarded, and continue to build new DeFi innovative products. That's always been our goal. And I think one of the biggest things that has changed for us is around the marketing and how we need to compete in this this in this market to better allow people to actually understand who we are and what we do and what we provide and the history that we have as a company. I think that's something that we're really looking forward to kind of sharing with everyone.
Awesome, Hash. Yeah, you have a great history and a great team. And yeah, when we started AMAs, in 2021, July, August, there wasn't really much out there, and then a lot more competition coming. Yeah, it's a sort of always expanding space, and you can be so busy, you don't see the competition sort of coming. But yeah, I mean, with what you're building here and everything, I can see it's great, and rebranding and everything, it looks great for the future. So what's the marketing plans for this year, say over the next 6 months? How are you going to sort of get that out there about DX and then the rebranding and get investors in and more pre-sales in from
Yeah,
project?
yeah. So there's a different type of strategy for each product. For the people who want to use DX there's a different target audience for that. So we're trying to figure out who are the target audience for each one of these products, and then figure out from there where are the right places for us to actually market and collaborate with a lot of different platforms. So that's one kind of pillar of marketing that we're doing is more focus on the products itself to bring a lot of volume and attention to the products. The second pillar of marketing is towards the sale token. I think a lot of our core community members that do hold sale token feel like we're not putting them or giving them enough importance. And we have a new marketing strategy for the sale token itself, how we will try to provide utility and incentives so that people would like to use or refer our products through our sale token as well. And that would just add another layer of pair of eyes to our platform, to our company, DxSale.network. And then third pillar is actually on the new products that we built, whether that's the NFT brawlers. Let me go on the website. NFT brawlers, there's a trailer on YouTube as well on our main YouTube channel, DxSale. Whether we build NFT brawlers or the next application, I think that's also going to bring a lot of marketing and a lot of attention to our overall umbrella company, which is DxSale.network. So I think the key foundational thing for us is to build out a good development pipeline. From there, we are going to be focused more on hiring sales people who can really let new projects owners see our products and see if it resonates with them. And then from there, focus on building new products and also doing a lot of PR as well to just help the brand grow. So that's kind of our three core strategies that we're thinking of when it comes to marketing. And I think at the end of the day, we have enough treasury enough to sustain ourselves for the next 10, 20 years. So we're going to be in the space for a very long time. We're also trying our best to build new innovative apps, not just in NFT world, in DeFi space as well. So we're very hopeful that, with each passing month and year, we continue to learn, we continue to grow. Our team also continues to learn and grow. I think that's the best way for longevity, and that's always been our thinking.
Sounds great for the future ahead, Hash. Yeah, you're really knocking it out of the box with ideas and everything for the company going well into the future. And going back to sort of KYC and docs, and sort of how are you trying to protect investors from rug pulls into the future? I know it's what sort of the number one issue for a lot of launchpads who want quality projects to come. So what sort of things are you doing in that area to protect investors?
We've been rethinking about, a lot of the KYC and audit. Like if I go to the audit page, there's so many auditors now, there's so many KYC partners as well. And I think the problem with rug pulls in a decentralized launchpad is there's no consequence for people who are rug pulling, even though they're getting KYC. So I think that conversation needs to be had with a lot of the KYC partners to see who in the KYC partnership actually has the authority to provide some form of consequence in real life to a lot of these people who do KYC. So I think we need to get to that area, and we do need to come to a realization that true decentralized launchpad doesn't really help protect the investors. So there needs to be some form of a stepping stone, a line that needs to be drawn between decentralization and centralization, that also just where we can use the power of smart contracts, but at the same time we're not really allowing scammers to really destroy the space. I think that's something that we're going to be addressing in either 4.1 or 4.2. The start of that is going to be from there. So we're going to be speaking to a lot of the KYC folks to see how we can actually solve that problem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we can never eliminate it. Obviously, slow rug pulls, but if we can minimize it, then yeah, that really helps the investors to make profit there into the future. Definitely.
Yeah, it's always like the chicken and the egg. Like we had limited it to such a degree, but then they just get smarter. They created honeypots, smart contracts just for our situation, and then we started adding token scanning, and then token scanning creates a lot of issues with project owners that are good. So it really does come down to the intention. But at the end of the day, we do have to look back at traditional finance. This VC idea, this crowdfunding idea is not something that only happens in crypto. It happens in traditional finance as well. And the way they deal with it is a consequence. There is regulate, and that's why regulation is needed, or else you're gonna have issues like FTX and other sort of stuff. But even the FTX scenario kind of shows that, hey, even the regulators aren't really doing their jobs properly. They're trying to just protect the rich, and the people that get hurt are the people that use the platform, or and it sucks. It really does.
Yeah, the mainstream likes to sort of harp on about FTX, and that's and the banking system's the same. They've been doing that for hundreds of years. They can collapse as well, and your money's not safe. And so not your keys, not your crypto, but decentralized seems to be the way to go.
And that's why it really hurts me. As a person, we really were hoping DxSale will open a lot of doors for people to give them the right opportunity. But even what I've noticed in my 2 years, at running DxSale, decentralization is great, but then it also has a lot of bad stuff that comes with it. And then you just need to pick your lesser evil at this point. I wish there was a better way to protect users, and that's something that we're always thinking about, is how can we protect the people that use our application, the day-to-day folks, from scams, or If there's no scam, then you need a centralized party that you can really trust at the end of the day to do the job properly and not get greedy and try to push their own pockets or agendas. So that's another tricky place to be in as well. Um, but I'm sure that with the upcoming each year, things do get better, things do innovate, things technology ramps up, and that's what we're doing as well. And that's why it's so important to support quality products and innovative projects like ours, so that we continue to build and we continue to really push the boundaries of smart contracts and distributed ledger technology.
Awesome, Hash. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great year, 2023. It couldn't be any worse than 2022, hopefully. And we're building, the market's coming up a bit, so more projects will launch to get more confidence and more investors come back into crypto for the future. So it could be an exciting year for DX, for WhaleCoin token, for lots of companies out there. Let's open up to community questions. Let's see, Sayad, you had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. I have a few questions. So I was wondering that do DX team has the authority of maybe canceling the pre-sale of a project at any given time if you have found some concrete evidence that the team behind the project is trying to scam the investors, or if any person involved in the creation of the token contract is known scammer? And
Mm.
also, do you report these persons to the concern investigating authority if possible?
At the moment, we don't do any of that. It's completely decentralized. We don't have the ability to cancel a sale. Um, but my question to you is that something that would be valuable to you as an investor? Is that something that you would like as a feature?
Yes, I would definitely like that if some evidence has been submitted by community member or you came to know any concrete evidence which indicates that these persons are known scammers, so that can be very useful.
Hmm. Okay. No, that's something that we're also thinking about. Again, when I was speaking about finding the line between decentralization and centralization, and I think that's the only way. If there is a known scam, and it's very easy to tell scammers, they have the same patterns over and over again. And we've always been very afraid to take that centralized approach to just being the person with a hammer and just hammering people. But after 2 years of actually witnessing a lot of scam products on decentralized launchpad, maybe that is the right way to go. Getting involved. But we're trying to figure out if there's a way we can get the community to be actively involved and get compensated through sale token from doing that. So
Yeah,
that's something that's also on the table as well, because we're a very small team, and adding any type of centralization means you're adding a lot of manual processes and relying on a lot of people to do their jobs properly. So it's better to have a community consensus rather than having one or two people doing their jobs. So that's something that's a great
yeah.
idea and something we can take forward.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I was thinking that projects that are launching on the DX Launchpad, are you placing them in tiers based on the quality of the project and the badges and that they have, like KYC, certificate, and are they vetted or not?
Yeah, we're not doing anything like that at the moment. I know Gempad does that and they're doing a great job at it, pushing space forward. We have another approach that we're also thinking about. We're gonna have tiers in terms of staking, and from there they're gonna have access to different things, including projects as well. So there's a lot of stuff that we are thinking about doing it in that way as well. But our goal is like we don't want to limit the people who don't have the ability to get a KYC and all of that stuff. There are a lot of good people with good intentions out there that do want to build a serious project that could revolutionize crypto, for example. So we want to make sure that we're not really limiting anyone, but we also want to make sure we enable and highlight the projects that do have done a lot of things to prove to the community that they are serious about it, by providing the KYC and all of that stuff. And I think a lot of the conversation that we need to have with a lot of the KYC partners that we have on the platform or in crypto in general, we need to create some form of a standard. And I think that's what we're missing is a way for people uh, that do scam, that outright scam, and specifically as well, they need to face some consequences, because if they don't, then they're gonna just continue to do it, right? So I think that's a conversation that someone needs to lead, and I think I'm going to start setting up those calls to try and figure out how we can do that as a community to better protect ourselves, but also create a standard that will be used across every launchpad, moving
Yeah.
forward. I think that's the kind of conversation that we need to have, to push this, space forward, so that we can get out of this like shitcoin scamming area to, like, maybe like a medium area where it's not like a high quality project that Binance Labs might pick up, but it might be some medium level product that just doesn't get the right eyes from the big players, and they don't have a way to connect with the big players because they have such a complicated funnel, so that they can highlight themselves in this space. And I think that's the area where decentralized launchpads can actually thrive. So that's something that, it's a long journey, and I think anyone who's willing, you need to find the right players, right partners who also believes in that vision and isn't too greedy about the short term benefits and is looking for the long term kind of, acknowledgement of the crypto industry in this decentralized launchpad space.
Yeah. Yeah, understood. Okay, I was going through your Medium articles and I've read about DX marketing, which will allow project owners and the influencers, graphic designer, writers, and other people who want to provide services like smart contracts. So I was wondering, will it going to be a freelancing platform to enable service providers to offer their services to the project creators? How will that going to work?
Yeah, that's the generic idea. But again, the problem is with quality. What we realized when we were going through the DX marketing, um, thesis, or going through that viability use case scenarios, is a lot of marketers, for example, they say they're gonna do X, Y, Z, and it's gonna be great, but then the quality of that return, you don't see that. So we have to be very careful with how we launch DX marketing. It's going to be again, a platform as a service where people can go to and be like, hey, I need this banner, automatically pay this amount, and it does all of that work for you. And it is supposed to be a tool for project owners, to get work done, to get work done in a very efficient manner, with a lot of automation, and so that's kind of the idea that you're talking about. Is the problem is finding the right quality vendors to bootstrap the platform first. I think that's the tricky part. But at the moment, we're focusing more on, um, development and sales rep, and kind of the staking system that we're trying to deploy as well, and building out additional features for our platform that people are looking to have on a platform, whether that's the contribution history or any kind of new type of launches that we're thinking about doing in the future. So right now our team is very small, but we're slowly ramping up. But we want to make sure we ramp with the right people who think long term with us. So yeah, that was a very old article. So thank you for reading that. But DX marketing is something that we're very passionate about as well. We see that as a way for the cryptocurrency to really shine. What I mean by that is the smart contracts to really shine. Um, the tricky part will be the validation process, where when someone asks for a specific service and the person provides it, but what if the initial person doesn't like it? How do you approach that situation through smart contracts? Then does a central entity like DxSale get involved, or does one of the community member get involved, or does it one of the sale token holders get involved? And if they provide some form of service, they are rewarded. Things like that is something that we're trying to do. Um, again, we don't want to build anything that requires too many manual processes. We want to build something that is as as automated as possible, that can survive for 10 years even though we don't work on it. Things like that is something that we want to try to build. And in order to do that, you really need to think ahead. You really need to think about edge cases that probably don't even exist today. And that's what allowed us to really build DxSale properly. We took 6 months to build the product end to end, and unfortunately, the cryptocurrency space, it doesn't have that much patience. So that's kind of the reason why we don't try to overpromise as well. We don't try to get timelines as well. We're more than happy just trying to build the right thing that we feel is gonna bring a lot of value to the cryptocurrency space, in the upcoming years.
Yeah, you're right. Got it. And thank you so much for answering my question. And you guys really are working hard, and it shows. Thank you so much. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks for the
Thank,
question, Sam. Let's move to Western Beast. You had a question?
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. I really want to appreciate you for coming here, Hash. I just have about two questions. The first that I actually have to ask is the fact that you said that I heard you mention on the earlier parts of the AMA that you're doing the best to be ethical in your business. And to be honest, this is a short-term disadvantage in this field, especially the field of Web3. How were you able to
Mhm.
defy the odds you came with on this perk, and how were you able to still stay committed on the promises and checked all the milestones that you have actually completed?
Yeah, so I think it's a two-part question that you're asking, right? The first question is about ethics in general and how can we compete ethically in a very unethical environment, such as the space that we're in. And I think the reason for that is so unethical is because we're very early in the space. Crypto, even though it's been here since a very long time, it still hasn't been here. It's just getting started. It's still an infant in a way. And I think the people that are trying to build the right products for the right things, and have the right branding strategy, they're going to survive long term. And in terms of ethics, like what I mean by that is before, when we started the platform, we wanted to be like Uniswap of launchpads, right? We didn't want to do any kind of collaboration, or we had a lot of EMA groups coming up to us and say, hey, we love to collaborate, we love to partner, and we're like, you know what, this is a decentralized space. We're not really looking to promote any type of projects in a certain way or anything. But now the conversation has changed because of the competitor, because of the space, and we do want to compete in a place such as this because we do want to build new applications that we do think are going to bring um, positive, uh, into the crypto space. So now we are collaborating with a lot of people, such as Whalecoin Talk, and we are trying to now figure out who in the space kind of resonate with our ethical boundaries, so that we can also try and collaborate with them. And, so I think we're also trying to go into the more like, hey, we need to treat ourselves as a software company, and we do need to compete. And there is no free meal in this market, especially in Web3. So that's something that we're doing, is we're trying to compete at a good level. We speak with regulators as well to try to figure out how we can bring the traditional VCs into the Web3 Launchpad VCs as well. So we're thinking very long term to set ourselves apart from a lot of the unethical players. And there's a reason why unethical players are not doxxed, and we are. And I think that should speak a lot of volume to a lot of people as well. Your second question was, remind me again, what was the second one about?
I think you already just touched on the second question, because I think the way you're going to actually, I was asking how were you going to, get the milestones, but you said you're going to actually team up with, fellow ethical people who also play ethically within the necessary boundaries of flexible regulations. So I think you already touched on that. So I'm just going to ask the second question now. And that question is something that caught my attention on your docs. So on your docs, I'm actually seeing here that someone can actually run on a test net, on the test network, where some ETH is borrowed. Is this ETH, what are the factors affecting this test network, and how can someone be eligible for it?
I'm not too sure about that one. I know we do support two networks, the Mumbai and the BNB test network. Um, I don't know what you refer to by ETH. Are you talking about like the Ethereum test network?
Okay, here I'm actually seeing that on the step after step 2, where we go to Moonborough, after logging in using the Google account, it says here on step 4 that we are going to receive a small amount of ETH for testing
Yeah,
purposes. So this
I think
ETH, how does it go about?
I think that's a scam. You might be in a scam website, so make sure you check the URL properly. Um, because we don't ask anyone to log
Ah, okay,
into
okay.
their email
No,
or
there's no
anything like
problems.
that.
I actually
Yeah.
saw it on your website, from your Gitbook. So it's docs.dxsale.network. That's where I actually saw it. So that's all the
Okay.
questions I have on my end. I wish you guys the very best. I hope the project stays fully smooth. I really appreciate the fact that you're playing the game on the right side of the track.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, I think in terms of the milestone stuff, um, there's nothing stopping us from creating our own milestones, creating our own products, creating our own, different markets. And I think that's something we're gonna do regardless of how many people, how many users are coming on DxSale, because DxSale is a very different product than, the NFT brawlers as a product. So the whole point of the rebrand was to try and shift the narrative of who we are from just a launchpad company to a product company. And that's something we're trying to really push hard, when we go to conferences as well, and try to build the right networks for entrepreneurs and also for everyday users that we can clearly see there's a lot of problems in crypto space that needs to be solved. And I think we're very early in the game, and I think there's a lot of opportunities here. Thank you for the questions.
I wish you guys the best. Over to you, Glenn.
Thanks for the question, Weston. And I was wondering, Hash, as well, around the size of the core team, the extended team, how many people you've got in the DX company as well?
Yeah, we have so we have 5 founders, 3 developers, and we're ramping up the sales rep team as well. We have 5 CMs. So our team is relatively very small. And right now our focus is mostly on building the right development squads, and then ramping up the sales and the marketing team as well. But doing it in the right way, one by one. Um, So our objective is to actually ramp up to about 30 to 40 people over time. But and then from there, each product will have its own squad as well. So NFT Brawl, this is not including NFT Brawlers. NFT Brawlers has its own design gaming people are there as well separately. So I would say we have about 20 to 30 people overall.
I see, Hash, yeah. That's quite a big team, yeah. And in the future, when we go into a bull market, obviously we're always expanding, and yeah, it would be great for the DX team in the future. Let's go back to questions. Let's see. Venice, you had a question for Hash. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, Glenn. So Ash, I have a couple of the questions. I wanted to know that how does DxSale prevent rug schemes and assure the trust in a project? I know you guys have a DX log, but we may have seen some projects still rug pull, as project creators may still choose to end a project and take the funds raised from investors
Mhm.
despite using the token lockers feature. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so in 2020, when we launched the product, the rug pull was essentially known as someone not locking or not creating a liquidity pool and just shutting off the Telegram and the website and just running away. So what we've done is we kind of kicked the can down the road, essentially. What we've done is the DX lock automatically creates the liquidity pool and also locks it for a minimum of 3 months. What that does is it allows people to at least sell their coins, if there is a bad actor in the space. But you're absolutely right. After 3 months, there's nothing that can be done. He can just quickly unlock from DX lock and remove the liquidity, and you're done. So you do have 3 months as a user to just cut your losses and go. But there needs to be a better way. So I'll just brainstorm some right on the spot, right? One way is, again, we need to create that line of centralization. Maybe when you realize after 1 week prior to locking, there's a notification to all the holders or anyone who uses DX app to notify them, hey, in a week this thing's gonna get unlocked, and based on the trading volume, based on all of the stuff data, that's also automatic. That can be done automated. Maybe you should consider selling it, or DxSale as an entity can get involved. What they can do is, right now we don't have this ability. We don't have any control over the DX lock, but in the future, if you were to go to that route, we can take this liquidity and and distribute it to the sale stakers. That way, people who, or maybe airdrop it to the people who own the X token that it was part of the liquidity pool. So there are ways around it. There are solutions that can be done to just provide incentives. But you really need to figure out, where you draw the line, where where is that right balance. So at the moment, the rug pulls are not really possible unless there is a honeypot or something like that happening. But after it does get unlocked, then yeah, then it's up to the users to do the due diligence, and that's something that we've always pushed. Like we started this DYOR area first to do it as well, because I think in a decentralized platform you do have to take a lot of initiative to just do a lot of bit of that research and stay on top of the market. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on it right now.
Okay, yeah, Hash, I completely agree with you. And so I also wanted to know that if you guys have any plan to onboard influencers or AMA channels or call groups to be listed on DxSale platform as on your marketplace. So whenever a project needs to do marketing, they can go to your marketplace and look out for potential and legit platforms, because there are a lot of AMA call groups or channels in the space, and not everyone is doing great,
Mm-hmm.
as some of the good AMA groups are there. So I think there should be a centralized platform where all those potential AMA channels or marketing groups should be listed, where projects launching on your launch pad can get to know about them, and they can read the feedbacks of the community, or they can read the feedback of the projects that have chosen those channels as well. So any plans like this?
Yeah, that's part of the DX marketing, the app that we're trying to build as well. Um, and we're just trying to, the hardest part is, like you said, it's about quality. There's I get like hundred of messages a day for AMAs or some form of marketing. But I know a lot of these are bought, and Telegram in the last 2 years have become like a very big botting place. So I think the trickiest part is there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done for DX marketing. We can build the application. That's not the hard part. The hard part is actually finding the right actors to get involved in DX marketing to provide quality services to the people that are also running quality projects. So I think the first thing is actually trying to find that middle ground of quality projects, and then from there create a quality service providing kind of platform that is one shop, one place to go get it all, figure out what you need based on your budget, and then add them into kind of whatever you're trying to run. So that's the vision that we have for sure. And I think that all of that kind of starts with the staking. So we're trying to focus on staking while also at the same time trying to ramp up all of the features that we didn't have in the past year to now because of, we re-architect the whole website. So I think starting from there, there's going to be a lot of nuances, a lot of conversation with the KYC groups, and then a lot of conversation we've already had with Realcoin Talk and others. We have them involved in our DX marketing kind of basic packages, which is a manual package that we provide for a lot of the pre-sales. But we need to get better. We need to find a better route, and that's gonna come with a lot of collaboration and timing. So I'm very excited for the upcoming year because DX marketing is something we're very passionate about doing. But at the moment, we need to figure out staking and the new launch paths that we're going to be announcing, and then from there, we're going to take it forward to the quality of different providers, whether it's design, whether that's video making, whether that's AMAs, whether that's PR, all of that stuff as well. So there's a lot of things to do for us in the space actually.
Yeah, I understood. And one last thing, I want to clear one thing that while I was reading the website, it says that built on 16 chains, and on the white paper it says with currently 13 supported chains. So which one among them is correct?
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. So we're at 16, I think, at the moment. I don't know if Neon actually works. Yeah, we're at 16 at the moment. Yep. So 16 is the
Yeah.
correct one. The white paper is very outdated. I wouldn't recommend anyone to read the white paper. We also have to redo our docs as well. So docs.dxsale.network is gonna get redone right here, the one that I'm sharing. A lot of this needs to get redone as well. We built a new website as well for our rebranding as well. So this has also changed. There's a lot of things that need to be added over here. There needs to be a partner list. We have this marketing packages, which is very manual to a lot of people that are looking for one. Um, um, yeah, and we have the about of DxSale token here that kind of just tells you. I think one of the biggest unique things about our token versus the other one is we're not trying to create a new product with the new product. We're trying to create a new token to just like make some money so that we can support this product. We've been very lucky to have a good treasury so that we can just use one token and one supply, and we're gonna have multiple chains and we're gonna have multiple products just using one token. So I think that's kind of we're trying to do things the right way here, guys. So and that starts with the staking system, and then the voting and the currency stuff is gonna come in later. So check out the DxSale.network website. There's a lot of stuff in here that's gonna get updated as well. This is a new website that we just rebuilt, and there's gonna be more announcements along the way as well about the different things happening.
Okay, Hash. It's been really nice talking to you, and thank you so much for answering my all questions.
Thank you.
Thanks for the questions, Vintage. Yeah, I heard you Hash say there about Telegram being botted, and but I think Twitter Spaces is really blowing up at the moment, and that's got a lot more organic engagement as well. So we've been expanding over there.
Yeah.
And
But it's only a matter of time. I think in another like 1 year, 2 years, whatever is happening with Telegram is gonna happen to Twitter because of the APIs and stuff. So I don't know if Elon's gonna survive all of this stuff because you need a lot of like manual people going through a lot of these things to stop these things. And I don't know how they're gonna. I hope they figure out a way to. I think botting itself and this whole scam thing, it has really like it has propelled to a new level. Because before I would go on YouTube and I wouldn't see a lot of these scam comments that I see now. So I think it's a it's a big problem across every social platform out there right now. I hope there's a way for us to solve it. Someone solves this big problem of scams or validation, right, for profiles.
Definitely, it's a big problem. I mean, with World Coin Talk, we're always looking outside the box. So we've partnered with Pennsylvania University to get education and research. Twitter Spaces. We have the Aquarium. We've got BNB chain on next week and BNB NFTs as well for a Spaces. So but some AMA groups are sort of thinking we're 18 months, 2 years ago, and not really, expanding. Some will die out, and some will thrive into the future. But we have spaces with Solana, Tron, some big projects, and you have to sort of innovate in the space, and that's the crypto moves fast. A month in crypto is 6 months in the real world, and it gets so busy. But it's been great having you on, Hash. As you say, we're still early as well, so that's exciting. I think everyone's glad we got 2022 out of the way. It's going to be great for DX in the future. The V4 improvements look great, and all your marketing and ideas for the future. I think your team's excited, our team's excited, and it's going to be a great year 223 going into 224 when we get that Bitcoin halving. We're all early, and as we go more mainstream, we can only grow and just learn as we go on in the space. It's been great having you. Like I say, if anyone's got any questions, join their official socials. We have the links in our main chat for DX there. Check out the Launchpad. It's great. It's been great speaking to Hash. He's very open, transparent, and is excited like us to build in the space. He's one of our partners as well. With DX, we've been partners for a long time, so I'm looking forward to us all growing together in the future.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. And I agree with you. We're a very small pond in what's to become a very big ocean. So I think we're very early as well.
Definitely. I'll finish the recording and send over a copy for you to share with your community. Hash, it's been great speaking to you, and take care.
Thank you.